Emma Hayes is the Chief Cultural Officer for the Raleigh, North Carolina-based State Employees Credit Union. In this role, Ms. Hayes oversees diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, leadership development, employee engagement, and internal brand messaging. She also serves as the Chief Diversity Officer for the African American Credit Union Coalition. Now, I've been joking with Ms. Hayes about how hard she works out every morning, right? Like, that's clear. If you know me, you know I love working out and I love FAMU. And those two things I love doing, right? But what struck me most about her, back in 2019, when I last emceed this conference, she gave a talk about servant leadership. She did. And it really inspired me and moved me to talk about leaders who are serving the greater good. And so I walked away from that conference thinking, how can I be a better leader? And I've employed many of those ideas that she planted in that conference. And I'm excited to hear what she has to say today. No pressure. I know you're going to do amazing. Come on up, Emma Hayes.
Am I on now? Awesome. Good afternoon. How we doing, family? It's been, is this day 3? 4? Day 3, 4? For some of us, it's day 4. It's been amazing so far. Oh my God, they started my time. Y'all started my time early. Sheldon was still talking. That's not my fault. That is not my fault. Sheldon, you owe me like a minute and 30 seconds. All right, I guess I better get started, but before I do, I really have to say to Miss Renee, thank you. Sheldon mentioned in 2019 that I had the opportunity for the very first time to grace the AACUC stage as a keynote speaker. And it was after having worked with Miss Renee for 2 years on the planning committee for this conference. I have to tell you how much I love Miss Renee. I gave her all of my nights during those first 2 conferences until the wee hours of the morning, finishing our labor of love for all of you. And I call her a curator of talent. She has this uncanny ability to find the things in people that they don't see in themselves and giving them the opportunities to shine. So, thank you. All right, I better get started because I'm down to like 10 minutes and I got like 25 minutes of content. No? Slides? Okay, there we go. Wrong show? You gotta stop my timer. Again, this not on me. Miss Renee, I'm taking my time, okay? All right. I'm reclaiming my time. All right, so. Okay, Danya is giving me the go ahead or get off the stage look. So I'm gonna start with just a quick recap for all of give a round of applause for all of those who were up here before, giving you those golden nuggets, their legacy lessons. We started off talking about something being wrong with the village, but guess what? We can fix it. But what I took away from that was I heard James say that the word can't isn't in his dictionary. So my nephew, early age, he had this saying, "You can't tell me a do." And it stuck with me. And so anytime someone is trying to discourage something I'm trying to do, it fuels in me, "You can't tell me a do." So thank you, James, for that. Mr. Smith talked about the lessons from his father and how growing up at an early age, he kind of understood where he wanted to go and how he wanted to grow. With that secret weapon, you can't outwork me. Absolutely. Like that work ethic It comes in to play in everything that you do, both personally and professionally. And then hearing about integrity, trust, celebrating others, all so important. Nature versus nurture, I too believe it is a combination of the two, because some things that are innately built into your DNA, and then there are some things that you can foster and you can grow and mature. And then learning how to persevere, learning how to save yourself and bring those others up around you. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was the fact that comfort and growth can never coexist. Think about it. If we get to, no, okay. So in my comfort zone, what I was going to show you was some images of my grandmother. I am my grandmother's namesake. We bear the same name, Emma Hayes. And she was an amazing woman. And her legacy lives on in our community, in her family, but it lives on in me. Huge shoes to fill to maintain the legacy of her name. It's where I got the servant leadership. But she was my comfort zone. She was where I felt comfortable. In your comfort zone, you have safety. You have strength. You are at ease, stress-free in your comfort zone. And that was my safe place in my comfort zone with my grandmother. And we spent many of evenings and days just kind of spending time. I laid at her feet. I was her eldest granddaughter, and for 13 years, the only granddaughter. So I had quality time to really learn from her. And as you can tell, she poured into me. And that's where I found peace, right? In my comfort zone, in that time that I spent with my grandmother. But in my comfort zone, there's not really a lot of opportunity to stretch myself, because anytime things got a little wonky, I could go to safety. I could go back to being at ease, to being comfortable. And that's what I did. I would go home even after I graduated college, and instead of getting in my own bed, I would crawl up beside my grandmother and spend time there just having late night conversation. What I want to say is that you have to find your comfort zone, because we all need that. We all need those places where we can go and feel safe and comforted. It's important. But whatever makes you uncomfortable is your biggest opportunity for growth. So in those moments that I was in that place of safety and ease and stress-free, there weren't a lot of opportunities to grow. And by grow, I mean develop, I mean transform. You can almost substitute any word in there for the word grow. How many of you like to grow? So let me ask it differently. Because growth also means to expand, right? To increase. So how many of you like to grow your bank account? Yeah. Grow your paycheck. Ooh, yeah. How about grow your influence? Grow your power, right? So all of those things are possible outside your comfort zone, because you can't have that type of expansion, that type of added capacity when you're sitting in your comfort zone. It just doesn't happen there. So in order to have it, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable, with being sometimes in pain, with being stretched and pulled, because you can't expand without being stretched and pulled. Being challenged in life, it's gonna happen. It happens to all of us. What's really more important is how you respond to the challenge. Do you retreat to your comfort zone? If you do, then you've missed the opportunity to grow. Do you accept the challenge for what it is and give yourself the opportunity to expand your influence, to expand your capacity, to increase, in some cases, your paycheck through promotion? All of it is possible, but it's only possible if you're willing to go through the process. Because growth, again, substitute in word, change, transformation, only happens with the response to continue, to push through, to persevere, to be resilient, stick-to-itiveness. All of that is required to get through this process of growth, to get to growth. Because again, it doesn't happen when you're comfortable. So I'm gonna be vulnerable, is that okay? Right, we family, right? I can be vulnerable with you all, right? Right, if this ends up on social media, it's me and you, just putting that out there. It's me and you. So Sheldon talked about my time in the gym. And I am faithful to my time in the gym. I've always enjoyed physical activity. Physical activity has kind of been like one of those things I enjoy doing since I was a little kid. And what you will notice is the picture on the right, listen to this. I was teaching roughly 15 to 18 hours of classes at the gym. 15 to 18 hours. I was running that year, 2018, the year before, I ran 13 half marathons. 13 half marathons the year before, four in the month of September, just prior to this January. I ran all the time. Physical activity was something that is just fueled me. But as you can see also, I wasn't a very healthy person. So I got to this point in my life where I had to figure out what I needed to do different so that I could change, transform, and develop a healthy lifestyle. So I took the challenge on to do something that was completely uncomfortable for me. I started bodybuilding. Now, at first I thought, okay, I'll test this out. But if you know anything about me, you know I can't really do anything halfway. I'm either gonna do it or I'm not. So I decided to bodybuild. I got a coach, and my coach was an amazing man who said, hey, I went in, I'm confident, right? Because I'm teaching all these classes, I'm running, I've been working out during my classes. I walk in, and he's like, okay, we're gonna put you through this. He called it a starter workout. And I was like, man, bring it, I got this. About 15 minutes into the workout, when I wanted to throw up, all I could think about was, what do you want more? What do you want? Do you want to grow? Do you want to expand? Do you want to change? Do you want to transform? Because if you do, now is the deciding moment. Because guess what came in that moment? Pain, discomfort. I mean, did I mention pain? It's a painful process to transform your body from the one state that you saw to the other state. It was a grueling process. I had to commit to it, even though it was hard. I had to commit to it when I didn't feel like committing to it. That meant every morning getting up and going and working out. It meant watching every single thing I put in my mouth. It meant all of my social events, I had to approach them differently. Because I don't know about you, but everything me, my family, and my friends do is around food. But I had to prepare for them. So it was uncomfortable to take my meals with me to family outings. It was uncomfortable to take my meals with me when me and the girls were going to hang out. To get questioned repeatedly about, girl, it's just the one thing. You could just cheat a little, right? Who am I cheating? I'm not cheating anybody but myself. And Grace will tell you, Emma don't cheat. Emma don't cheat. So I understood what it was going to take to get me from the image that you saw on your left to the image that you saw on your right. And I understood during that process that if I wanted to be comfortable and revert back, that was okay. It was a choice I could make. But if I wanted to grow muscle, I had to purge. I had to purge my old eating habits. I had to purge even some of the relationships that made it unhealthy, that supported my unhealthy eating habits. I had to be efficient with my time. Every moment of every day was planned out so that I could be sure to get in the workouts, prep the food, eat the food 6 times a day, every 2.5 hours. It's a lot. And the entire time I'm asking myself, but what do you want more? Do you want to be healthy? You said you wanted this thing. Well, be okay being uncomfortable. Be okay being in pain. And I would push through those workouts. And then when that pain, I would think at some point, you'd think it would subside, right? You grow stronger and it stops hurting. And then you add more weight to it, because you've expanded your capacity. So there's this thing in in bodybuilding. It's called time under tension. It's how you build capacity. It's how you build muscle. It's how you get stronger. It's how you build resilience. Time under tension means that you are pushing your muscle beyond muscle failure. How long can you do that? Because for the length of time that you can do that, you can start to build, you can start to grow, you can start to develop, you can start to transform, but you can't do that if you want to stay in your comfort zone. It doesn't happen staying in your comfort zone. So for all of you who want to be in leadership positions, get outside of your comfort zone. Stretch yourself. Expand yourself. Build capacity. Be okay with time under tension. What does that look like? Ridicule. What does it look like? Self-doubt. What does it look like? Imposter syndrome. What does it look like? All of the things that tell you that you don't want to be you don't want to be uncomfortable. Just go back to what you were doing before. But if you want something different, you have to do something different. And something different isn't comfortable. Thank you.